Alright, Scorpio, welcome to your February of 2015 horoscope. My name is Athen. Alright, so last month in February we had an emphasis in your third house, and that's still going to be sort of the case this month as you're kind of reworking and finishing up things in that sector. We're going to have Mercury retrograde there, but then the Sun shifts and goes into your fourth mid-month, and then Mercury will be direct by that time. So finishing up some things regarding your communications, anything in your immediate environment, sorts of short distance travels, communications, learning, teaching, sharing information, all of these sorts of things. Perhaps, with Mercury retrograde, perhaps, thinking about how you're communicating, how you're perhaps exchanging information, or perhaps it's just learning something new in general. So still finishing up some things, but the emphasis this month is definitely on your fourth house, where we're going to have the Sun going into mid-month, and the fast-moving planets going over some of the slower moving planets in that fourth house, which I'll talk about. So the emphasis there is on home, family, your past, your roots, your sentiments, things you're emotionally connected to, things that give you that sense of security. So all of those things, but in general, it's just your emotional security in life. So it all starts off on the first of the month when we have Venus going over Neptune in that fourth house, which could be something just really deeply connecting to the home and family in some way. This could be, for some of you, Neptune's been transiting your fourth house, so there's this sort of releasing and letting go in terms of, your home or your family or where you come from. A spiritualizing process. It could also be in many ways, connecting to your past, even beyond, even into past lives even, in a way that's helping you become more aware of your spiritual self and spiritualizing you. So however that's manifesting for you, there's definitely going to be a shift there as these fast-moving planets go over Neptune and then over Chiron in that fourth house. And it starts on the first with Venus. So enjoying it is really the emblem of this first part of the month. You probably noticed this back in January, that there's a good amount of enjoyment to be had in the home, family, and other fourth house related things. So continue to enjoy it, and I think around the first you'll not only enjoy it, but you'll find it very deeply connected as well, that spiritual connection to it, and enjoyable in the spiritual sense for sure. Now on the third, we've got the full moon taking place in Cancer, which is your ninth house. So there's definitely some abundance and some awareness coming to fruition here regarding all of this expansion that's been taking place in your ninth house of travel, long distance matters, of the adventurous side of life, of philosophy, divine knowledge, all of these ninth house things. So for those of you who've been involved with those types of things for the past 6 months or so, this can be a time of it coming to a sort of fruition and culmination and being aware of it in great detail, or since the past month for those of you involved with those types of things. But in either case, for all of you, just being very aware around that time of the abundance around you in terms of everything on your path, in terms of everything regarding your whole, connection to the divine, being able to see the big, the overall view of your life, and the tremendous amount of abundance that's there, not to mention the fact that you have Jupiter transiting that ninth house, which is essentially like, this journey that when you guys go on, there's these beautiful things that can come to you. So pay attention around the third in terms of that. Jupiter is still retrograde, so perhaps there is some reflecting going on in that sector for you, but in either case, see the abundance in your life regarding those ninth house matters. Now on the 6th, we've got an opposition between the Sun and Jupiter, so definitely some balancing here needed to take place, and you probably noticed this back in January too, needing to balance what you might call the, again, optimistic, expansive side of life with the more mundane, practical side of life. The third house has to do with our everyday experiences, and like I said, this is where you're definitely thinking about some things, wrapping some things up, but it's bringing these into balance is what you want to do. You want to merge these two elements together. See how you can have all this beautiful expansion and everything in that ninth house when you're taking care of the day-to-day stuff, or when you're doing those mundane activities, whatever. So, and it's not going to one extreme or the other. It could also be not going to the total extreme of being completely rational, over-rationalizing your life in such a way that you lose touch with the expansive elements. So however that is for you, just overall balancing the third and the ninth house is going to be very important for you, just like it was in January, but mostly this month just around the 6th. Now on the 8th, we've got Venus going over Chiron, like I was saying, in that fourth house of home and family. So definitely some healing that's been taking place in regards to your roots and your emotional connectivity, and all those fourth house matters. And this is a month when it can feel very good. Venus over here is suggesting that perhaps, this month, it's definitely a good time to get in touch with family, enjoy the home, you know, get into the, you know, what you would call the domestic side of life, and you'll find that not only very spiritual, like I was talking about before, but very healing, especially around the 8th when Venus goes over Chiron. And, you know, that's healing like this, this like love that we have with our family, with our past, and with our home. Now on the 11th, like I said, we got Mercury going station direct, so using the time up into the 11th to really reflect on these mundane, everyday experiences, along with the learning and teaching and communicating stuff. But when he goes station direct, this is the time of really understanding something, especially with your third house. Understanding a new, you know, whatever it is you've been reflecting on, probably what you're reflecting on now while watching this video. Then when he goes direct, it's putting that stuff you've learned and putting it into practice, putting it into actual applicable use. So if you've learned something about how you're coming across, how your exchanges are, or what you're learning, this could be a time when you really finish up that study and start to apply it. It's very practically based. But overall, improving your communications is very important for you. And so from the 11th onward, start to put energy into that. Anything you've learned, that'll be go time for you to improve that part of your life. Now on the 12th, we've got the Sun going into Aquarius and Mars going into Pisces. So a definite shift here. And the first shift is from the fact that, like I was saying, things are going from your 3rd to your 4th. So your Sun's going to go over your IC, go into your 4th house. And this is where you can really start to be passionate about the home stuff. And I really recommend for you guys, like I was saying, connect to family, and it's just anything, and just going within too, in a very, you know, it's like you want to have that time for yourself, and it's not necessarily alone time, especially not with Venus there, but it's giving yourself that sort of space, and you know, making sure you're spending enough time at home too, because it's the time of the year that this area of your life is definitely in need of some enjoyment. And so with the Sun there transiting on the 12th onward and into March, you're going to notice definitely some passion there, some good motivation in terms of your vital life force energy in those 4th house matters. Now on the 15th, or excuse me, actually the same thing on the 12th, Mars is changing sign, and this is on into your 5th house. So this is a little bit now up into the Zodiac in your 5th house, which is where the transitions are going to start to happen this month, but also you're going to notice them in March as well, which is the shift from your 4th house to your 5th house. Now the 5th house has to do with self-expression, of creativity, of everything we enjoy in life. Also romance and children and anything that puts a smile on our face. So this is the transition where we get in contact with ourselves, what's, you know, going on the inside. Then once we take that work and we do the, you know, that sort of inner work, you might say, then it all comes out. Then we have all of this expression. We add the nurturance. We're feeling good. We're now able to express ourselves and to create things. And that's what the transition is for you, happening mid-month. And it's starting with this Mars energy. So from the 12th onward, put in the energy with any type of creative projects, with anything involving a new project in general, your creativity, your self-expression. And you're going to notice a nice motivational energy there, especially on the 15th, because on the 15th we've got Venus going into that 5th house as well. And they're going to be very close to each other in the sky from about really the second half of the month, actually. So this is very passionate energy. They go exact on the 21st and 22nd. But this whole time period, it's like this masculine and feminine energy in that 5th house can be very creative, very passionate. So enjoy yourself. That's how this energy gets moving. With Venus, it's like, okay, I can enjoy myself. And then with Mars, it's like, okay, let's make this active. Let's actually do something and really tap into that active energy. And you'll find a tremendous amount of passion, physical passion, following. Okay, so if that is a new project or something, that can be a tremendous amount of energy to be utilized in that 5th house. Now on the 18th, however, we do have the new moon taking place in your 4th of home and family and past roots. So whatever that is, you know, I think it has to do with a lot of this energy and enjoyment you've had in this sector. Now it's something new, culminating. It's going to lead you into March. And it could be a new home, it could be a new renovation, it could be a new family member, it could be a new relationship with your family, whatever it is, cultivate it. Nurture it around the 18th. That's what the new moon energy signifies. Then as the days progress into March, water, you know, this is all very symbolic of like a garden. There, the seed is planted on the 18th, then start to water and nurture the plant onward. And you'll notice that it'll be growing and cultivating not only next month in March, but also in the next 6 months when we have the full moon energy of this same part of your chart. Now, the last aspect of the month, we have the sun going over Neptune, which is, again, that 4th house, and this is really topping things off here, which is that a spiritual, emotional connection to the home and family. I've really, said that a lot, and it's very important to, in this sense, really see the spiritual meaning behind it and the true, spiritual understanding in many ways. Because when the sun goes over Neptune, there's this illumination. Illuminates the subconscious, illuminates the spirit realm, and then you can really see what it is that you, first of all, what is Neptune really doing there in your 4th house? What's Neptune helping you connect to spiritually, specifically, but overall just enjoying that spiritual process and presence and peace that can be found in your 4th house sector. All right, Scorpio, so let's go and draw a card and see where Spirit would like a little more emphasis for you all this month. Okay, Pluto. Well, he's come up already in these horoscopes. And so, with Pluto, this is a first indicator to me of a lot of the transformational energies that took place last month when we had Pluto squaring up to the North Node. And a lot of us learned something new there. And for you, the North Node, it's going to be in your 11th house all year. So it's been about perhaps getting more involved with friends, groups, giving more, being more of service in what you're doing, more humanitarian, more community-based. And so Pluto showed you something about your sense of self-worth here. And so I think this is a reminder from Spirit to maintain that sense of self-worth, that power that you've received, that spiritual power you've received from having that good sense of value and of what you value as well. And carrying that into this month, because it's very transformative. And I think that's going to help assist you continue with those 11th house matters with the groups and stuff. But overall, it's going to assist you, I think, in all areas of your life, including the areas that have this emphasis. And maybe even with your resources and other 2nd house related things, which is resources, values, and like I said, your sense of self-worth. All right, Scorpio, well, I hope you all have a great month. I want to thank you very much for all of your support. If you'd like to share the message of Sidereal Astrology, please like this video. You can also comment below your experiences. Share it on Facebook, and for those of you who are new, please subscribe. I do daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes, and I hope you guys have a fantastic month. Take care.